my name is Lydia and I work with Explore Ecology, an environmental education organization in Santa Barbara. This video is brought to you by Santa Barbara County's Resource Recovery and Waste Management Division. Today we'll be talking trash. What it's made out of, where it comes from, where it goes when we throw it away, and how we can make less of it. Let's start with where trash comes from. Everything we use in our daily lives, and I mean everything, comes from natural resources. Natural resources are things from nature which we use. For example, this book is made of paper, which originally comes from trees. So does cardboard and wood that we use for building homes or making furniture. Metal comes from deep under the ground in the rock. And we have to dig it out using giant machinery in a mine. One of the materials we use most is plastic, which is made from oil. Oil is found deep, deep, deep under the ground, and it takes millions of years to form. Humans pump oil out of the ground using wells or oil rigs like the ones you see off the coast of Santa Barbara. We use oil to make all kinds of things like jet fuel, gasoline, and motor oil. Oil can also be transformed into plastic using a complicated chemical process. And because of all the chemical changes that happen when we make oil into plastic, plastic cannot decompose and go back to the earth. This means that once something plastic is made, it stays plastic for hundreds of years, sometimes thousands of years, and there are types of plastic that we think will never go away. A lot of plastic is only made to be used once, like plastic water bottles or plastic silverware, but plastic is made to last forever. So what do we do when something is broken or when we're done with it? We usually throw it in the trash and don't think about it anymore. But where does our trash go after we put our bin out on the curb and the garbage truck comes by to pick it up? All our trash goes to a place called a landfill, which is a giant hole in the ground that we fill up with trash. Landfills are necessary because if we didn't have them, all our trash would end up all over the streets, out in nature, or in the ocean, and we do not want that. I am going to show you one of the landfills in Santa Barbara County. This is the Tahigas landfill west of Santa Barbara and Goleta. Trash from houses, schools, and businesses is taken to the Tahigas landfill. As you can see, the landfill takes up a lot of space, and they had to cut down trees and move around a lot of dirt to make it. Let's find out just how big this landfill is. I'll zoom in until we find a truck. Here's one. Now I'll keep my mouse on the truck, and you keep your eye on that truck as we zoom out. Pretty soon it's a tiny speck, and now we can't even see it anymore. All of the trash is covered up with layers of dirt so it doesn't blow away or get eaten by animals, but under all of that dirt is a whole lot of garbage. Like I said earlier, landfills are necessary, but they are not very good for the earth. The trash in landfills is full of toxic chemicals, lots and lots of plastic, old food, and all of the gross, icky, stinky stuff that we put in the garbage. There's a reason we throw that stuff out. This is where you come in. There are many, many things we can do to help our earth heal from our trash problem, such as voting for people and policies which will protect the earth, or studying things like environmental science so that you can get a job helping the environment. But there are things you can do starting today, even if you are not old enough to vote or get a job yet. I'm going to teach you several ways you can make less trash. If we can all make less trash, our landfills won't fill up as quickly, and hopefully we won't have to dig a new landfill for a long time. There are 3 words that help us remember how to make less trash, and they all start with the letter R. Those words are reduce, reuse, and recycle. Let's start with reduce, which means to make less. In this case, we want to make less trash, and there are lots of different ways to do that. One simple way is to say no thank you when you don't need something that will go straight into the trash, like a plastic spoon or chopsticks with your takeout. Another way to reduce is to buy things with less plastic packaging. Whenever you can, choose the option that will make less trash. Reuse is my favorite of the 3 words because there's so many different things you can do with it and there's so many ways to get really creative with it. Reusing could be using a metal water bottle instead of a plastic water bottle that you'll use once and throw away. Or it could be bringing a reusable bag to the grocery store, like a cloth bag, instead of using a plastic bag. You can also get really creative with it and make crafts and cards and gifts and games and toys and all kinds of things out of stuff that would otherwise end up in the landfill. Our final word is recycle. Things that are put in the blue recycling bin are sent off to a recycling facility where they are cleaned, sorted, shredded up, melted down, and made into new things. So for example, we could make new paper out of old paper instead of out of trees. Or we could make new soda cans out of old soda cans instead of mining the metal out of the earth. Recycling is good because it uses less natural resources and we can recycle the things that we already have. Recycling can be tricky, however, because not everything can be recycled. In Santa Barbara County, the following items can be recycled. These things cannot be recycled. Let's have a look at some of the waste that I've created this week and figure out whether it can be recycled or if it needs to go to the landfill. Metal cans can always be recycled as long as they are clean and dry. Glass bottles and jars can also be recycled as long as they are clean and dry. And in Santa Barbara, you want to keep the lid on your bottles and jars before recycling them. Cardboard can go in the recycling unless it has food on it. Greasy pizza boxes not welcome. Paper can also go in the recycling if it's clean and dry. But if paper has a plastic or waxy coating on it, like this piece, it will have to go to the landfill. Fabric has to go to the landfill. Same goes for this piece of a shoelace. Plastic can be recycled if it's bigger than 6 inches and clean and dry. And once again, you want to put the lids on your containers in Santa Barbara. Crinkly or soft plastic, like this plastic bag, or like a candy wrapper, cannot be recycled and has to go to the landfill. So do tiny pieces of plastic like this little bit, too small to recycle. Cartons that have juice or milk in them cannot be recycled because they have a layer of plastic on the inside that can't be separated. Same thing goes for coffee to-go cups. All of that has to go to the landfill. This apple core and paper towel could go to your compost pile if you have one. And if you'd like to learn more about composting and food waste, make sure you watch our food waste and compost videos. If you don't have a compost, this cannot be recycled and will end up in the landfill. Different places have different recycling rules, so make sure you know what you're allowed to recycle where you live. The whole process of recycling uses natural resources. So whenever you're able to reduce or reuse your waste, that is even better than recycling it. Additionally, there are lots of things that can't be recycled. And if you accidentally put something that can't be recycled in the blue bin, it will just end up in the trash and in the landfill. A good thing to remember is when in doubt, throw it out. What this means is if you don't know if something is recyclable or not, just put it in the trash for now and then research it later so you know for next time. We say reduce, reuse, and recycle in that order for a reason. We always want to try to reduce or make less trash first. And if we can't reduce something, we'll try to reuse it. And then if we can't reduce or reuse it, we'll throw it in the recycling. I'm going to show you a few ways you can reuse items to give them a second chance at life instead of heading to the landfill. You can use old magazines, calendars, or even junk mail to make beautiful collages. Just cut or rip up the pictures and glue them together to make a new image. If you like to garden, you can grow sprouts in an old takeout container. Or you can start your seeds in an old egg carton. The cool thing about egg cartons is they are made out of cardboard, which comes from trees. So when your seedling is ready to go into a larger pot or into the garden, you can put the whole egg carton cup directly into the soil where it will decompose or go back to the earth. I'm going to show you how to make a reused flower pot out of a toilet paper roll. And this is one I made earlier. I planted a little leaf from a succulent in there, gave it some water, and I put it on a reused pasta jar lid to catch any drips. I'll be showing you how to do this, and I encourage you to do this along with me. So for this activity, you will need a toilet paper roll or a paper towel roll that's empty. Check your recycling bin to see if you have any. You'll also need some scissors and a marker or pen or pencil or something else to write with. So you can go ahead and pause this video, grab those materials, and then hit play when you have everything together. All right, welcome back. So let's get started. You are going to take your toilet paper roll and squish it nice and flat in the middle like this. This makes it easier to cut. And next, you're going to take your scissors and cut it in half right down the middle. So you'll only need one piece. You can set the other one off to the side. If you're using a paper towel roll, which is a bit longer, you only need a short piece. So you can squish it flat towards the end like this, and then cut it right there so that you have a piece that's about as wide as your hand is, like this. And as I'm showing you this, you can pause this video at any time to catch up and then hit play when you're ready to move on to the next step. So our next step is going to be doing some measuring. And we'll be using our finger as our measuring tool. So hold up your finger and wiggle it, and look where you have that wrinkle at the first knuckle right there. And that is going to be lined up with the bottom of your toilet paper tube like this. And then you will take your marker or pencil and draw a line from the bottom of the tube to the top of your finger just like this. Mine's a little bit crooked, but it will do the job. Once you have this line, you're going to flip your tube around, do the exact same thing on the opposite side. So line up that little finger wrinkle, draw a line from the bottom of your tube to the top of your finger like that. So now you have 1, 2, and then you are going to make 2 more lines. So you'll have a total of 4 lines, 1 at the top, 1 at the bottom, and 1 on each side. So I have 4 lines going a little bit less than halfway up around the bottom of my tube. And next up, it is time to cut. So you'll take your scissors and very carefully cut only along the marker line that you drew. So I'll cut, 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 stop. Go along to the next one. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4 cuts around the bottom of my tube. Then our next step is going to be folding these out like a flower. So I'll open them up, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So it looks kind of like an open box. Like this. Maybe like a tree trunk. And once you have it here, we are going to fold those into the center. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're almost there. You have a couple options for your last step. You can either turn it so the open part, the hole is facing up, and then take your thumbs and push up towards the ceiling like this. And that kind of sticks it all together, and then you have your plant pot. Or if you want to be a little more challenged, you can fold it and close it like you would close a cardboard box. And I'll show you what I mean. So I folded them all in. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And now I can take this last one and tuck it under the corner of the first one. So now each piece is tucked under one piece and over another piece. And this is your plant pot. You are all done. You can make as many of these as you would like whenever you run out of toilet paper and make an entire toilet paper roll garden. And then it's time to plant. You can take a scoop of soil from outside, or if you have compost, you can add that, and plant a seed. Or you can do what I did and plant a leaf from a succulent or a clipping of another plant, and it will grow as well. Now it's your turn to get creative. What items can you reuse and give a second chance at life so they don't end up in the landfill? Thank you so much for watching. Now get out there and reduce, reuse, and recycle so we can all make less trash.